Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to take a few minutes this morning to talk about why I prepare for things that come up, which I used to talk about that like in the beginning of my whole video series. I talked about why I prepare. Some people call those people preppers. Some people just call them conscious and aware. Preparing is just being ready in the event that life doesn't go the way that it normally goes for you. I got my coffee. It's Sunday morning, you know me. Got to have my coffee. No cinnamon in it this time, but it's all good. You know, over the past couple of weeks in my community, it's been kind of chaotic. The past few days been calm, and I just love the neighbors that have come out and come together, cleaning the community together, cleaning up broken glass and bottles and whatever, picking up trash, people randomly showing up to my job and leaving, a bouquet of roses for the, staff that are coming to work. Essential employees have been working through the entire Rona situation. But then to have all this added into it, it's nice to have someone say, hey, thinking about you, know that you're still working and helping people that are sick or whatever during this process. And people let you know that they appreciate you. Even though you're not doing it for a thank you, it's nice that people do that. And then there are other groups that are from in this community. There's fitness centers that are in this community and other neighbors, just neighbors from within the community that are banding together to get a lot of food together. Some have brought food and incontinence products and house cleaning supplies and toilet paper. We know how people love toilet paper now. They've brought all that for the residents where I work. Not only that, but yesterday I was walking home because my car hasn't been starting, so I had to take the bus out to go help someone for 3 hours today. Tried to take a bus back. It only got me so far. I got off the bus, went to get the connecting bus, found out there was no spot for the connecting bus there anymore because everything had been destroyed by the anti-disestablishment people. Things were just not there. Kmart's, which was on its way to closing, is boarded up. It's done. The bank, destroyed. The post office, destroyed. Everything, pretty much everything was closed at that point. And I'm looking around and all I'm seeing are big wire fences and big cement blocks. Nowhere to walk. Couldn't walk on the sidewalk. Couldn't go down the side of the streets that I'm used to going through. And I just had to figure out what was I going to do. So I started walking. Walked my way on down to the next block that seemed partially clear. And from a distance, I didn't have my glasses on. But from a distance, I could see that there was a fence up. And I said, I'm just going to keep walking till I get to that fence. Or till I see somebody that sends me in the right direction. So I started walking. And ran into a few people. Asked them if they knew the way to go. They said they didn't have a clue. Because they've stayed in their home for the entire time that all this stuff had been going on, and they were trying to figure out where to go to. So, one person takes one way, and I take the other way. I keep walking, and I start hearing acoustic guitar playing, and someone singing. And it was a City View church. They had music just amped and playing outside. Nice, peaceful, relaxing music. It was wonderful. But I had a long way to go, so I really didn't want to stop and talk to them because I know I can get caught up in conversations sometime. So I continued to walk. Then I come upon, on another corner, several tables put together with several tents, kind of like what you would see at the farmer's market, and the food all nicely laid out and organized. And I go up and I say, "What's this? Who are you guys?" No real organization. It was just loving people from Minneapolis that were trying to reach out and help the community. And then some people came from out of state and brought some other food to go with it. And people were just like walking up. People that needed food would walk up and they'd get a bag, get whatever they needed, and say thank you and leave. This is what I love about Minneapolis. You know, people see all this negative stuff on the news, but honestly, the genuine people from Minneapolis really care about the community. You know, these are people that get out and get to know the other people that live around them. You know, we don't have to walk around with our head in a cloud or looking down at the ground. Look around you. There's a whole community of people. No, their skin may not be the same color. Their language or their accent may not be the same as yours. But we are all in this together and we all need each other. I thought it was awesome. I stood there and talked to them for a while. And then I mentioned something about my car not starting and how when it shut off, the window was halfway rolled down. So me in a panic, not wanting anyone to break in, what I do? I get this gigantic piece of plastic and a roll of duct tape. Duct taped it to the window that was rolled down and just said, "God, please don't let anything happen to my car." And I left. Well, two of the people that were there giving out that food live in the building that was directly across the street from where my car was parked. And when I described the car, they were like, "Oh yeah, we see it. We live right there. Do you need a jump?" I said, "A jump would be wonderful, so I can get my window rolled up at least and get the duct tape and plastic off the window, and then I'll have it still taken to the shop just to find out what's going on with it, because I don't want to be out somewhere on the road and the car give out on me." They came and jumped my car. I was able to get the window up, plastic off the window, got the window rolled up, let the car set for a while, and I had it running for a while. Backed it up so it wasn't still in the same spot. So I backed it up a little bit, you know, on the street, and then the car shut off again. So still don't know what's wrong with it. Might be some wiring issue or whatever, but my window was rolled up, so now my car doesn't have to be the tiniest swimming pool for adults. Which I'm glad, because then it started raining. So thank you so much to Hannah and her husband for helping me with that, because otherwise I would be in a pool in that car. But I want to take a few minutes today to talk about, you know, preparation, why preparation is key. And you know, the weird thing about all this is, you know, when we had the riots and all that going on the other week, I thought of John Teeter. I don't know if you know who John Teeter is, but allegedly many years ago he came on a website and he posted some information about future events. He was supposed to be a time traveler or whatever, and people said, "Oh, this is made up and this is somebody doing this fake and whatever." I'm into the sci-fi thing, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just read all of this and eat all this up, because who knows? So I'm reading, and you know, he supposedly came back in time to get an IBM computer, an old one, and they're very hard to find. And the particular type that he was looking for, I know someone who had been a computer programmer for like over 20 years who had that particular model. I don't know if they still have it or not, but that was what was alleged that he was back here in time to get. But one of the things that he had mentioned in his posts online when he was sending out emails, and eventually he ended up on the Coast to Coast radio show or whatever, he mentioned about civil unrest in the United States and how all of a sudden there was just going to be all this going on like a civil war, and after it was over, the community would start to come out and look at each other and talk to each other and build relationships and they had a long way to go to rebuild the community. And I thought about him because of what's happened in the past couple of weeks and because of what's happening now. It's nice to see even more people come out and do stuff. I know that's kind of weird, but it did make me think of John Teeter, because what happened is just like how he said in his little emails that he put out many, many years ago. Okay, digress. Okay, why I prep? Because years ago, when I first moved to Minnesota, I got caught in a snowstorm. Someone helped me. A family helped me when I first moved here. Then I moved out of Minneapolis to the suburbs, and when I moved back into Minneapolis, 3 days after I moved back to Minneapolis, there was a tornado and straight line winds in my area, tornado in other areas. It knocked over a tree, which hit a power line, which knocked out all the electricity for about a week's time. And all the neighbors came out, and we worked together to make sure that people had food and whatnot. That's why I love Minneapolis, because people are so loving in Minneapolis. And I can't speak for everybody. We know there are bad apples everywhere, but let's not judge the whole based on what 1 or 2 or 3 people have done. As a whole, the people in Minneapolis tend to try to come together and do positive things. The people that I've met. And yes, I've met some of the negative ones, but I don't let the negative overpower the positive. The positive helps you endure. The positive is just better for you. So, AARP magazine came out with this article about a year ago. No, actually October 2017. And it was called Grab and Go. It's like, it's a get home or bag or to go bag. And it can make all the difference in how you react and how prepared you are in the event of an emergency. So, if stuff is hitting the fan and you need to get out, you should be able to just grab that bag and run. There's some basic things that are on this list that are helpful to anyone. Like when things got really uncomfortable to me and it started to cause a lot of anxiety for me and I wasn't sure how safe I was because of the fires and everything going on around me. So I was able to call a friend. They said, hey, I'll come pick you up. And, it makes it easier to just grab and go. So, here's some basic things. You can take note, pause video, get what you need to write these things down because these are helpful. Clothing. Get a few days worth of clothing. Medication. Definitely, if you're on any prescribed medication, you want to make sure that you have at least 3 days worth of medication with you. And if you don't have the little individual packs to put them in, toss those bottles in when it's time to go. Personal needs, personal hygiene needs, eyeglasses, deodorant, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste. You can have those little travel size soaps or whatever. Or if you wear a bar of soap down until it's really small, put it in a little Ziploc baggie and just have it so you're ready. Extra pair of shoes that are good for walking, in case you don't know what situation you're coming into. You'll want to have a charger, which this is a portable carry-all charger, or you can have a plug-in charger. Bottle of water, change, batteries if you need, any paperwork, If you think you may need food or whatever, toss some raisins or granola bars or whatever in there. You just want to have these things just in case you need it. And if you have a pet, you want to make sure that you have a small container of pet food so that you can carry your pet food for your pet. The Complete Survival Guide it was a Doomsday Prepper Special Edition book. Is excellent for preparing for just about any kind of thing that you can think of that might come up. The book regularly sells for $19.95 in America or $23.95 in Canada. I got it from Axeman, which is a place that had like all kinds of random extra overstocks of things, and I bought it from them for $5 several years ago, and I find it to be extremely helpful. Even tells you what to do if you're in quicksand. If you can find it, awesome. Maybe try through Amazon or whatever. I wouldn't get any money from Amazon, so don't think I'm trying to make any money off of you. But it's a really, really good with practical steps and illustrations on what to do and how to manage each and every situation. Well, it's also good to have a flashlight, which I didn't mention. I use the Maglite Mini. You could go to Sensible Prepper's channel if you would like a deep description on all the varieties of flashlights there are, because he's really excellent at that. His past military history. So he really likes the Olight series, which they are good, but because I used to do security and I used to carry the Maglite Mini, I like it because the light can pan out or I can zero it in. And this is good enough for me, so I stick with what works for me. You have a good morning. This afternoon, I will be back to talk to you about preparing and storing up food for times as this, so that when there is no grocery store to go to, and when there is no dollar store or anywhere that you can go to get any kind of food or essentials, so that you can already be prepared. Which I've done this for years. People thought it was weird, but because of what happened with the snowstorm and the tornado and straight line winds, that's why I do what I do. That's why I do videos on dehydrating food, and I talk about other things such as that. So, I hope to see you when I come back later, and until then, I hope you have a great and peaceful morning. Tell somebody that you love them, and remember, you are the one that can make the peace. Peace doesn't come by fighting. Peace comes by showing love. Peace doesn't come by destroying things. It comes by reaching out and helping others. Coming together, using our minds to create a better world, to create a better community. So, until later.